Howdy, everybody. This is Jared Sterrett, and you're listening to KZCC LP 106.1 Conroe and KZCW LP 104.5 in Conroe and worldwide at OurLoneStar.com.
Gun.
Let's begin now.
Hello and welcome to The Ticket Stub, your favorite place for movie news and reviews. The Ticket Stub drops every Thursday on podcast platforms and Thursday at noon on 104.5 and 106.1 from beautiful Conroe, Texas. You can follow us on Twitter and Facebook. The Ticket Stub has a ticket sponsorship with the Grand Theater and Amstar Cinema. You can visit OurLoneStar.com for information about the show and sponsorships, or you can drop us a line at 936-647-3776. You can't shake me with your dancing. Also, don't forget to leave us a 5-star review. My name's Connor. I'm one of the hosts of the show, joined in studio as always by Chris Appel. How you doing, sir?
I'm doing well.
Yeah?
Doing well.
Theater life good? Good life?
Yeah. You know.
Same old, same old?
Yeah, pretty much.
Don't be too excited. And also Dick Schischler. How you doing?
What's up?
Dancing Queen, man. CC. What does that mean?
Yes.
Yes. Oh, for our friends from the South. CC. Yo soy ticket stub. We're excited to have everybody who's listening today. We got a good show. We're gonna do a little bit of movie news. We're gonna break down something that's coming to box office this weekend. We're gonna talk about it a little bit, see what we think. We're gonna rewind the movies that we've seen over the last week, and then we're gonna do something harken back to some old episodes.
Yeah, man.
Either or.
Joker shot up to the charts, dude.
Yeah, I was surprised it did that much.
How's it been doing?
I don't think anybody
I
else
think it was 98. I think it was 96 or 98 million first weekend.
Really?
94, 96.
93.5.
Like
Joker delivers largest October opening ever.
Yeah.
How are they always breaking
inflation? Though it's
yeah.
ticket prices go up, and that helps that, but it's still huge.
Yeah, that's a big. So have y'all been pretty slammed with the Joker?
Those kind of movies don't really do that well for my particular theater, but company-wide.
Yeah, you got a bunch of those
were.
Christians that live around the Grand here
Or is
in
it like
Conroe.
like country simpletons or something? Why are people not coming to see the Joker?
No, we skew towards an older crowd.
You know, I was going to ask you this, Connor.
Yeah, ask away.
So I was thinking, you know how they have like Asylum Films?
Yeah.
And then like Blumhouse and stuff.
Yeah.
They make like ridiculous movies.
Yeah.
Why haven't the religious sector of the films been able to do like take the Joker but make it like, how do we make a movie about redeeming the Joker? Like have somebody change him.
Like convert the Joker?
Convert the Joker. See, that to me, I would see that movie, even if it might be a parody, seen as a parody. But
the preacher.
you see, wouldn't that be a good movie?
He used to joke, but now he preaches. That could be the.
I mean, that would be insane.
I don't think they have the money to buy the rights or access.
Yeah, I think
to
that's probably
anything.
what it is.
It's a parody.
Oh, like make it a comedy.
Well, no, I mean like
Like they do with adult movies. Like
no,
they say it's
like,
a parody of
I
this.
feel like you can use that kind of direction of like, oh, it's a parody, guys, but it could be a religious film and have something similar to a Joker type of character.
Films a parody?
No, I'm saying that's how you get away with it legally.
I don't know the avenue forward for that. For it
But
to
I
be
think
a
you
parody,
could.
but also
You could write a faith-based movie about the Joker, but don't call him the Joker. Call him like the clown or something.
the laugher.
Yeah, and then like
I don't think anyone would come see that if it didn't
no,
have
if it has a guy from Fireproof, like whatever.
I think-
I mean, that guy will.
Kirk Cameron, yeah.
If you put a Christian song in the trailer and had some drone shots and then some people having serious conversations, they will show up.
I could see Kirk Cameron playing a Christian Joker.
Wouldn't it be great if it was one of those exact movies? Like what was the one I just saw the other day, Unbreakable or whatever?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They
but
can
what
make
if it was
it.
that? But like they played it totally deadpan. But there was a guy with his face painted like the Joker. Like that was like he was the Joker, but he's like the dad of a kid who wasn't sure what they believed, and he had to have like serious conversations on like the front porch about like, come on, son. But the whole time his face is in the Joker
No,
makeup.
you could totally make it like a duality movie where the neighbor's the Joker, but he's pretending to be this guy, and he befriends the neighbor's kid and realizes, he shouldn't blow up the world. There you go. Great movie. Great heartfelt. But then he goes, renegade, and it's like, I'm bringing everyone to heaven with me. And that's where it gets real twisted.
Yeah, he's like, you know what? I'm going to send you to heaven a little early today.
Yeah.
And then he starts shooting people.
This hydrogen bomb's filled with holy water.
Okay, well, this is a terrible idea, but maybe it could just
letting
crazy
you
enough
know.
to work.
Just letting you know.
Just crazy enough to work.
There's a market there no one's tapped into.
That is true. The parody superhero Christian film.
I'm telling you.
It's just wide open.
What was that? There was a Christian TV series with Bud from Growing Pains, and he was like the purple superhero Crossman or something like that. Do you remember that?
Bud?
Bud, what's his name? Bud.
It was like called like Bible Man.
Oh,
Bible
Bible
Man.
Man. I actually
But
like
it was
Bible
but
Man.
it was
I like
Bud.
that show.
Wasn't it Bud from Growing Pains?
No,
It was
There's
Kirk
no one
Cameron's-
named Bud from Growing Pains.
Well, who was Growing Pains is Kirk
wasn't-
Cameron's character's best friend.
Boner.
Boner. That's who it was.
No, what? It was Willie Ames from Charles in Charge, I believe. Is
let me see.
who was Bible Man, I
see.
believe.
I never actually watched that show. So.
I don't know where people
Bible
watched
Man
it.
is actually pretty good.
Yeah?
It's
Yeah,
entertaining.
Willie Ames. That's who's
It
Bible
can't,
Man.
yeah, it can't be good.
What they did was they took a Batman suit from I think Batman Forever and they just cut the ears off of it.
Are you serious?
Yes, and that's what they did.
Does he have the bat symbol on the front?
No,
They
he
put a
doesn't.
giant cross on it. Or
Yeah,
something?
I'm
don't
gonna pull it
remember.
up. I'm gonna pull it up just so people know what we're talking about.
Yeah, Bible Man. It's worth a watch.
Yeah, I'm gonna be rewinding
Was it a
later
movie
on.
or was it a TV show?
It's a TV series, a kids TV show.
Yeah, because I grew up around the Church of Christ, and
Yeah.
that was always something that I was like, this is such an odd thing, and I didn't know anyone into it, but every time we went to like an event or something, it would come up and be like, oh, have you guys seen the new Bible Man?
They need like Disney World for like Christians, and it could be like Billy Graham World or something like that. And
Yeah.
you could get your picture taken with Bible Man. You could go on like.
I think a different actor played Bible Man later.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
The first Bible Man.
Kind of like Adam West gives way to Christian Bale and all the
Kind
others.
of.
Yeah, I can't get this thing to work, but yeah, it's.
Man.
I mean, they made.
Technology is really
Yeah,
impressive.
maybe that's what we'll review the new Bible Man.
They should do a theatrical release of Bible Man.
telling you.
There you go.
They should.
It would be huge.
That's why
It
I was.
might be.
That's what kind of why I brought that up. I was like, I'm surprised no one's done anything to make it more to hop on the superhero train. That's what I was kind of confused why they haven't done that.
Well, anyways, that wasn't anything at all what we were going to talk about, but it was a good little intro to the show to get us kicked off. Joker did 93 million. What I do want to talk about something that's coming out this weekend. Are we still on Bible Man?
Yeah, I got rid of it for you.
Oh, okay. What's coming out this weekend is Gemini Man.
Oh yeah, Ang Lee still makes movies, guys. Did
Yeah.
you know that?
So this Gemini Man, I mean, I'm sure that have you seen the trailer for it? It's pretty.
Yeah, it looks horrible.
Yeah, it doesn't look great. What are
feel-
y'all preparing for this to be
Well, I
big
feel
or not big?
like this.
To be honest with you, I haven't been following it at all.
It came out of left field because I think it was announced like in December that like this is like production and we actually got footage and stuff. But this reminds me of those contracts people make with studios
Like where they owe movies.
where they like, yeah, Ang Lee needed to make a movie for this company and it was like, this is the IP we want to roll with. We're gonna remake the Gemini Man, and Ang Lee's like, cool, like he has a vast variety of a backlog or a movie log of
Yeah.
Ang Lee. Like he makes everything. And I'm-
Lots of logs.
well, I mean, think about so this guy's
his
done
logs are
Life
backed
of
up.
Pi, Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon,
And that's
Brokeback
it.
Mountain.
Oh yeah.
So think about
Gemini Man.
Then think about the genres of those, and you're like, wait, what? And that's when those to me are on the
Yeah,
spectrum. That spectrum of crazy.
Pretty various different kinds of movies for sure. I don't know. This makes me think of it was one of like the Comedy Central roasts when they were talking about like James Franco, I think, and he said something. The old Hollywood saying is one for them, one for me, and he said Franco does one for them and five for nobody, and that's kind of what this feels like to me. Like this is one of the five for nobody. I went ahead and looked up Will Smith's last 5 movies because I was just thinking like, when was the last time he was in something that I really liked? And so his last 5, including Gemini Man, and then Aladdin, which people said Aladdin was good. I haven't seen it, but Aladdin was there. And then Bright, which I watched the first half of and never finished, was that Netflix movie where there was like troll cops or whatever. And
Yeah,
sorry if y'all can hear that. They're doing a little construction next door. I don't know if that's going to pick up on the mics or not. Collateral Beauty was the 4th one, and then Suicide Squad. So those are his last 5 movies. Like Aladdin maybe, and then anything else that's even kind of above 50%.
Is this similar to what's the one that he did where the zombie apocalypse deal?
Oh, Legend.
yeah,
I Am
is this
Legend.
kind of similar to that?
No, with Gemini Man?
Yeah.
I think what the plot is that he is some sort of like high-level assassin, as they always are, and he decides that he's going to retire or he wants to quit. And so I think they're trying to tie up the loose end, and so they've cloned him, but it's like 20-year-old him, and so he has to fight the 20-year-old version of himself because basically the only thing that could beat him is himself, but younger. Only he can defeat him. One of the interesting things, and I read several articles about this. In fact, that first article, that Vox.com Dick, was the first thing we'll do for movie news. We'll kind of blend these two things together. Super long article, not really that interesting, but there was a lot of articles that were basically saying that the whole purpose of this movie was to highlight this new technology that they developed, where it was some sort of a mask, like a digital mask that they overlaid on Will Smith's face, where they were able to take all of the footage from when, I think it was 23-year-old Will Smith is what they
from
picked.
Fresh Prince?
Yeah, like all the, because they have like thousands of hours of Will Smith on camera. So they were able to take all of that and super realistically impose it on Will Smith's body, I guess, or if he was wearing the green, hoodie or whatever it is, and to make it look super real. And I think that highlighting this technology is like really the purpose. You talk about why did they make this or what was Ang Lee doing. I think it was all about showing this technology off, maybe.
Well, he's with Life of Pi. He did a lot of stuff that
I know
that
that's what
hadn't been
James
done.
Cameron basically did with Avatar.
Yeah.
He did that so he can I think he owns the cameras and stuff that make those movies. So it's like, he's just putting out a product right there that you can have this product for X amount of dollars.
It was like an advertisement. But what do y'all think about what do y'all think about doing, having an entire production just to showcase when it's not even
They do
really
it all
good?
the time. They do it all the time in movies.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think it's also something that you, especially as directors and creative people, you try to entice them on new things because they need to be refreshed. I imagine some directors, besides like Quentin Tarantino, who does the same thing every time, it's like, this is how you can get Ang Lee interested in doing something. Like, that's why he probably chose the movie. He owed it. He's like, let's change it up. Gemini Man's been done. How do I make it different? How do we really change this up? And that's probably what it was. We got this new technology to make Will Smith younger, which, I mean, I don't know. It's kind of like that's why I like Looper so much.
Yeah.
Was they didn't try to do that too much. It wasn't like a carbon copy of the same person. And I went with it. I didn't like, oh, that's the same person. They don't look anything alike. It was more of like, yeah, just go for it.
Yeah, but the tech wasn't. I wonder if they made that movie now, if they would have done it this exact same way.
I mean,
Probably, because it'd probably be cheaper.
Well, probably pay one person instead of two.
well, yeah,
and
you
what's
had to
funny
deal
is,
with Bruce Willis.
what's funny is The Irishman comes out pretty soon.
Yeah, I know that was kind of the hiccup. Was they have 3 different time periods for the movie for each character.
But see, I think The Irishman isn't using this. From what I could tell, it's using some different kind of technology than this. That was one of the things that made this is supposed to look so much more realistic than that does with the way they're able to do it.
That's not going to save this movie.
But and I think we've talked a little bit about this. No, I'm sure it's gonna be terrible. It's 31%.
Do you think they do the whole body? So that's when you're really pushing the boundaries.
It's actually, I heard it's
Right.
Jaden Smith.
from the
body double.
of the-
from the neck down?
Yeah.
It's like we scanned your whole body, Will. We can de-age the entire thing. Check it out.
Yeah.
Man, that butt looks
He's like,
good.
can you do my wife next or what?
Oh.
Bird. Who's he married to? Jada Pinkett.
Jada Pinkett Smith.
Oh, Pinkett. Excuse me.
Pinkett.
But I just wonder and I think we've talked a little bit about this. What's this going to mean for the future of movies when you have these kind of old guard actors that are going to be able to play? I don't know. I mean, it's not like you would never cast like Liam Neeson to play like 20-year-old Liam Neeson.
I think that what it allows them to do
because he didn't
it's-
really get great.
It,
till-
well, it,
That's
help-
true.
it helps screenwriters too, because I know a lot of times they want to tell a background to a story of a character, and it's like, how we either get a kid that's like you can make them really young, where you can actually get a kid to play the part, or we just say, hey, put this mask on, we'll de-age you 20 years.
That's what I want to see. I want Robert De Niro de-aged into like a 5 or 7-year-old kid.
Yeah.
With his face. That's what I want
Well,
to
I
see.
think they did that technology with the Wayne brothers. What was that movie called?
Yeah.
Wait,
Little Man.
Little Man.
Yeah.
They did
I
that.
thought you were talking
Yeah.
about white chicks at first. Was
Oh,
that them
no.
too? Yeah, they can.
No, they'll remake that one with the technology. It's like, oh, we don't put this makeup on you, just
But
make you
but
white.
what's crazy is for so many celebrities, there will be the truth that whether they were even famous or not, there's going to be so much more digital capture from the time you were born until adulthood now, just with Snapchat or with Instagram or with your
I think they've been.
camera
I think
roll.
they've been doing that with Tom Cruise for the past 20 years. They just haven't really told anybody.
Yeah,
That's
she
part
looks,
of the
yeah, she looks
contract.
terrible.
Yeah, like you're not allowed to tell anybody how bad I look.
There's a great deep fake of him where some impersonator gets his actual face put
Bill
on
Hader.
him.
It's a Bill Hader.
No,
thing.
not that.
Oh, okay.
It's like it's some company that does it. It's really
By
awesome.
the way, the deep fake thing is a whole sub wrinkle to this, which is kind of terrifying.
Oh, yeah,
like
it
the
is.
fact that they're able to do this kind of stuff.
Did you see Jim Carrey in The Shining? They
No,
did?
I didn't see that.
Yeah, it was very creepy.
And I mean, like, again,
As soon
I
as it's
think,
going to be like
I think this
it's gonna be
helps
Trump
the
like
industry.
murdering somebody. It's
I
going to
think
be
this helps the industry because you got options now if you really want to tell a good story. I think what hurts is the growing pains of getting to the technology where it's acceptable. But it's a hit or miss. I think it depends on who the cinematographer is, how they blend it in, And because, like, I remember in Logan when he fond of his younger self, that looked really good.
Yeah, that did look good.
And it wasn't they weren't doing it over the top, but it looked good enough. You're like, man, that does look like, Hugh Jackman when he was, 20 years ago when he was Wolverine. But there's other movies like Gemini Man just doesn't look good.
Well, it's just like, attach it to something that's actually interesting. I mean, if you have the technology sitting around, maybe they were in just such a hurry they grabbed the first like decent script they could find and put it in, that would incorporate.
Well, Gemini Man's already a movie.
Yeah.
So,
but I'm just saying, like, you couldn't. I mean, if you're actually wanting to make something that was using the technology and also good, maybe they wanted, but maybe they didn't have that available to them in the moment. There's not that many scripts, I guess, where you need to show the person side by side with his 20-year younger doppelganger or whatever. But anyways, moving on. Independent.com had an article. This is one that we're all going to be super invested in, but I thought it was just kind of interesting. Jennifer Aniston. We all know her. We all love her. Rachel from Friends and other things. She's all pissy because the film industry is diminishing, is her quote. It's just big Marvel movies. And she talks.
Someone's sour for not getting picked.
I know. She says, you're seeing what's available out there, and it's just diminishing in terms of its big Marvel movies or things that I'm not just asked to do or really interested in living on a green screen. And then she talked about how I think it'd be nice to go into a movie theater, sit cozy, and have a resurgence. Let's get Terms of Endearment, or Heaven Can Wait, or Young Frankenstein. Or
Well,
Blazing Saddles.
If I was thinking about this, is similar to her complaint is, like you ever seen Drunk History on Comedy Central and Funny or Die? I always wondered how those bigger name actors got connected. And I think what Jennifer Aniston, and this is part of the industry, if I had to guess, is she tells her agent, this is what I want to get paid. This is where the conversation starts after that's met. And I feel like the movies she wants aren't there going like, hey, is Jennifer Aniston available for $100,000 because we're doing a small budget?
Well, I don't think it's that. And I don't know how to say this without getting in trouble, but she is getting older.
Get in trouble.
And it's not.
No.
Well, she's getting older. Well, she is. And it's not really fair because.
It's factual. She is.
Well, but male actors they can get older and they still seem to get roles. As female actresses get older, it doesn't seem like there's as many roles written for that specific age.
Well, I also think that
that's unfortunate.
She's probably typecasted as Rachel from Friends, and she gets offered how many movies a year you think she gets offered that legitimately get to her? Not like me sending an email to her agency. I'm talking like the agent's talking to her like, hey, this month these are the scripts I got that I think will fit your bill.
See, I bet she gets more than you'd think, but they're probably all stupid. And she probably doesn't want to necessarily be attached to something stupid.
I mean, it's almost I know that that world works by filters where they set up like I want to get paid this much. This is how long I want to shoot the movie for. So I'm looking for shoots that are 2 weeks to it's rare for actors to be like, yeah, I'll work for a year and a half on this movie.
Yeah. Well, it's rare
unless it's a passion project.
Movie to go for
unless it's a passion project.
Yeah.
And especially that's why I know a lot of actors were turning down Marvel because they knew if I do this character, there's a chance I'm going to be working once a year for 2 months because I'm doing a role in another movie and I have to sign on that. I mean, I think she just needs to get more flexible with what she chooses to do.
I think she's just at that age where it's like she's kind of in between.
Kind of a tweener. She's not like the grandma age or whatever.
And she's, not...
But her and Adam Sandler.
She's like 40, guys.
No, she's not 40.
No, she's not.
Yeah, she looks 40,
see.
but she's probably older than that. But stick with Adam Sandler.
Well, think about
she can be the mom
what's her
of the
name?
teenage
Renee
kids.
Zellweger's coming out with Judy. I think it's already out, and that's Oscar buzz. And she doesn't look anything like old Renee Zellweger because she had so much plastic surgery. So that to me is like she might have a hard time getting roles because she doesn't look like a person. She looks like a.
I thought they did a good job. It's one of the better. Yes, she looks different, but it's one of the better plastic surgeries I've seen.
I haven't seen much for this, but the funny part of the article with Jennifer Aniston is she says that she longs for the day of the Meg Ryan type movie, and it's kind of like, well, yeah. I get that, but I'm not sure that Jennifer Aniston is Meg. It's like me being, back when I'm playing pickup basketball, like I long for the day of Akeem, back when someone like Akeem Olajuwon was.
She's 50 years old.
I mean, to put you in not that Meg Ryan was the greatest of all time or anything like that.
And listener Dennis says she has great nipples.
Oh,
so
that
I don't know who he's talking about, but it's not me. Is it me?
Yeah, they are kind of poking out. Thought you were smuggling some Tic Tacs in here. Anyways, moving on. One more article for the movie news. Brie Larson says that the women have passionately told Kevin Feige that they want an all-female Marvel movie or an all-female superhero movie.
Isn't that Birds of Prey?
I like it.
Well, I think
They just got cast. She didn't get casted.
well, that's a DC though, right?
I know. Just tell her that. That's why I was like, oh, you didn't cast it in Birds of Prey?
She didn't get the
That sucks.
she didn't get the email, didn't get the memo.
Yeah.
So you like it?
Yeah, I like
sure.
it.
You
Yeah.
like it because you think it'll be good, or because you think it's good progress, or what?
I think it's cool. I liked Ocean's 8 a lot.
No, you did not.
Yes, I did.
Yeah, we
I thought it
reviewed
was
that a
pretty
while
good.
back all together. That was a group watch, and see, the thing is, it's so hard to make a movie that's just based off that. It's hard not to fall back into the type, like I guess the word, like the what people expect.
Yeah. Well, everything.
And that
becomes
was the
about
problem.
women,
Well, that was a
girl
problem
power.
with like Ocean's 8. Like even at the end, all they cared about were the jewelry. It was the jewelry, and I'm like, wait a second. I thought this was about like being a team and getting the money, but no, they literally kept the jewelry because they like jewelry. And I'm like, come on, like you can't make it that on the nose. And the female, like the female Avengers movie, I think that would be very interesting. But I think they don't really have a good spectrum of superheroes.
Now, is she talking about like female Iron Man and female She-Hulk?
Because I don't think like Gwyneth Paltrow is going to be like, I wore the suit just probably because they paid me a lot of money. But I don't think Gwyneth Paltrow being a superhero.
Oh, I'm sure she'd have to be involved. I mean, I think they would. I don't know. They don't have a plan. There's not a business plan in place. This is, I think, the women saying we want to do this. But my guess would be they would take Wonder Woman and they would take
Wonder Woman's not in that world.
not Wonder Woman. They would take who's the one I'm thinking
Captain
of?
Marvel.
Captain Marvel and
She's the only one with superheroes that I can think
But
of.
no, but
She-Hulk.
Superpowers.
There's She-Hulk. She-Hulk.
no. What's Scarlett Johansson's name?
She's not a superhero though.
She's
She's
part of it though.
just an
Widow.
assassin.
Black Widow, but
She's a human.
She's in every one of these superhero movies though.
She'd
Batman
be
is a human,
a
and
ball
he's-
and
is-
chain on the whole movie because she's not a real superhero.
Well, Batman's not. He's not a superhero by your definition. Then
Yeah, he's a ball and chain on most. And when they go to space, when the comic books go to space, Batman's usually the one they have to figure out because he can't breathe, and it's just like it's a whole ordeal. And I'm like, man, just skip him. They don't call him anymore because he can't handle it.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of Spider-Man's a human. I feel like your logic falls apart a little bit to say they're not superheroes, but she is a part of the Marvel, team. There was like 4 or 5 of them or whatever it was in the last movie. Remember that ridiculous scene where they all run down the middle of the battle and they end up actually.
What are the odds on this giant 19 field football field battlefield battle?
They all
and,
end up. They all were able to get right by each
Yeah,
other
with
amidst
the-
the chaos and the death and the gore and everything like that.
Well, I can see it working though. Like I said, I just don't think they need to have more individual female movies, and kind of like they did in the last 20 years. They build them up, they give them individual, and they build them up. I think they could do it, but it's going to take a lot more than just making Birds of Prey and hoping everyone gets it.
Yeah. Well, my thought is they're for sure going to do this. That's my feeling. I mean, it seems like there's no world that they won't put this together just because it'll be successful and maybe it'll be good. I mean, I think that the female Marvel superheroes they're great characters and the movies have been
Well,
good.
a lot
and
of their great characters are X-Men. That's the issue. Like a lot of the strong female characters in the Marvel universe are primarily X-Men, and they haven't really figured out how to.
that hasn't
put
really
that
made
together.
the old integration yet. Has
But
it?
I mean, I don't know because think about
Best use of X-Men is Deadpool. How he he goes to the mansion and there's only like the 2 of them.
Yeah.
He's like, really? Everyone else? Where is everybody?
What no, I mean, and what's funny about that too is if you think like, oh, let's make a movie in the next 2 years with the females. Who are the females that are already been presented in the movie that actually have superpowers?
But you can't make these new rules in the middle of a.
Well, I'm
of a
saying I'm
10-year
talking about
deal.
you're writing the script. You're like, all right, so the females who I know is the girl from How I Met Your Mother. She was in a couple of them, and then you have
Kobe
Oh,
Smulders.
but she
I'm
doesn't have superpowers.
I know. Well, so either does Black Widow.
But she's not even part of the she was like an FBI agent.
She's the coordinator. She is the
She's more on the TV show than the movie. She was in like one.
But I'm
and a half
talking
of the
about
movies.
what female lead characters in the movies have been in, or that could be in this movie.
I
that
will
they've
say
already
this
made.
again. She-Hulk.
Well, She-Hulk hasn't been introduced yet. You have the female ant.
Well, they don't have to
Ant-Man.
be introduced.
You have the female ant. You have the Wasp. So
Yeah,
that's
the
a good character.
Wasp.
And then you have Captain Marvel, and then you have How I Met Your Mother woman,
And She-Hulk.
and then She-Hulk hasn't been introduced
But
yet.
that's like 5. That's like 5. That's
and then
enough.
you have Black Widow, and who else is there?
Captain Marvel,
We already got that. So there's 4 people right now.
Thor.
Supergirl.
No, not
oh, that's
Thor.
DC.
No,
I'm
no,
sorry.
No, there is Thor. Did she die though? I remember. No, Thor's.
I think she went to just get moved away.
Yeah.
It was one of those like.
So you have that
Natalie
one.
Portman
There's
ones.
that.
Oh, and Amber Heard, right? The underwater lady.
That's DC.
No, it isn't. Oh, is it?
Aquaman is.
Oh man.
See, that's fine. So
No,
there we go.
and
Got a
then-
movie.
And then
We got a
Iron Man.
movie.
She Iron Man.
Yeah.
She has a suit.
That's 6. I mean, I guess. I mean,
We're stretching. Oh,
That's a stretch.
We're definitely stretching.
so we have 2 bona fide
Well, and then they introduced
superheroes.
Oh, you can
You
see
know.
that joke. Here she comes. She irons, man. Man, that would be. Yeah, that would be the
Get
dick.
the gift generator out.
In the movie.
Here we go.
You know, what's the gender neutral, like Z?
What? Oh, yeah, Zer.
Yeah, so it's like Iron Zer. How do we make this fair?
Oh, what if there was like stereotype woman, girl, and like her thing was just like she has the ability to warm up your food at a faster than.
Oh,
I'm just trying to play.
I
off
feel
the,
like we're going down a
I'm
dangerous
trying,
road
I'm
here.
trying to play off the she irons.
That
man
makes
thing.
no sense.
Oh, okay. All the things you've said make perfect sense today. So excuse me. All right,
Perfect sense.
we're gonna go to break. When we come back, we're gonna rewind the movies that we've seen over the
boy.
last week, and then we're gonna do a little either or, where I throw out 2 options and we pick which one we prefer. So stick with us here on the Ticket Stub.
Let's begin now.
Texas A&M AgriLife Extension Service has been dedicated to educating Texans for over a century. In 1915, the Extension Program was established under the federal Smith-Lever Act to deliver university knowledge and agricultural research findings directly to the people. Ever since, AgriLife Extension programs have addressed the emerging issues of the day, serving diverse populations across the state. Texans turn to Extension for solutions in horticulture, agriculture, 4-H and youth, and family and consumer sciences. Extension agents respond not only with answers, but also with resources and services that result in significant returns on investment to boost the economy. Join us Fridays at 1 o'clock for the AgriLife Extension Hour.
The Ticket Stub is sponsored by the Grand Theater and Amstar Cinemas.
With 18 locations around the country, the Grand Theater and Amstar Cinemas bring you the latest in state-of-the-art projection and sound.
including Fathom Events and Flashback Cinema.
Did you know your local Grand or Amstar Cinema serves a wide variety of adult beverages?
And some even have a full bar.
And moms, they didn't forget about you. They also have a large selection of wine to help you get through those kids' movies.
Visit your local Grand or Amstar Cinema today.
Want to check out the fastest growing sport in the world? It's right here in Conroe, Texas, and it's roller derby. Conroe Roller Derby is a nonprofit recreational league of women and men who want you to come and check out the fast-paced, hard-hitting game of roller derby. The Conroe Cutthroats practice at Rainbow Roller Rink on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Sundays. You can find our game schedule and more information on our website, www.conroerollerderby.com.
Don't forget to download the Lone Star Community Radio app for your Google Play or Apple Store. Bring Montgomery County's community radio with you anywhere with your smartphone or tablet. If you are in the Conroe area, tune in on FM. That is Conroe's FM 104.5, 106.1.
We have the safest food supply in the world. Strict laws and regulations restrict the usage of hormones, antibiotics, and pesticides within our food supply. Production agriculture practices and technologies such as the use of GMOs, which is not any more or less risky than conventional crop production, has allowed American farmers to produce more food on less acres in environmentally sound ways. Find out more online at pathtotheplate.tamu.edu. We are Texas A&M AgriLife Extension, helping Texans make lives better.
And we're back on the Ticket Stub. If you missed this last segment, if you're listening on the radio, we talked movie news, a little bit about Gemini Man and the technology there, a little bit about Jennifer Aniston and her bad attitude because she's not willing to accept any Marvel roles or any low-paying roles. And then Brie Larson and the Girl Powers teaming up because they're going to want to make a all-female movie.
And of course, being clicks, they don't invite Jennifer.
Yeah, she's so... Those B words, man. Jennifer's so pissed right now. Like
She doesn't do enough PC correction stuff. So
what's great is all those Marvel superheroes. They have one group text that has Jennifer in it, and then they have a separate group text that doesn't have her in it, and that's when they talk bad about her all the time. Y'all know what I'm talking about, and Jennifer knows. She knows. This is the rewind portion of the show. It's where we talk about the movies that we've seen over the last week. Chris, what movie did you watch?
I saw Darkness Falls from 2003.
Is this like a scary movie?
It is a scary movie. If you thought it was, then it was.
I did, and good.
It is 9% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Oh.
So I figured it. You know, I saw this in 2003. So I
Wasn't
figured
the name
I'd
of the
give
city
it another
Darkness
shot.
Falls?
It is the name of the city. Yes.
I didn't see this, but somehow I know a little bit about it.
Basically, the plot is there's a bunch of no-name actors in it. That's not the plot, but nobody you would
The
recognize.
plot is.
Yeah. As a young boy, Kyle Walsh claims to have accidentally woken up out of his sleep just in time to see the Tooth Fairy trying to kill him. Okay, so I had other stuff, but that's pretty much all you need to know. All right.
Why don't you just read everything you had written down?
No, it just goes on to really just
So a little
it
kid
hammers down the point that the Tooth Fairy is trying to kill you.
Okay, so a little kid wakes up and sees the Tooth Fairy trying to kill him.
Yes. Rapid fire movie review. Alexander Walker from the London Evening Standard. The title refers to a town as well as a state of mind. Neither is worth a detour. Oh, burn.
We need a little like click, like boom, roasted.
Boom, roasted. Urban cinephile critics. Film lovers beware. The evil spirits of boredom will befall should you enter a darkened cinema and endure Darkness Falls.
Oh,
and the
my
last one,
gosh.
and my personal favorite, Steve Newton from Georgia Straits.
Is that that country western band?
No, I think it's something. It's a magazine.
Just kidding.
It's only slightly more enjoyable than having an army of gnats. No, I'm sorry, an army of ants not at your privates. I massacred. I can't even talk at all.
Hey,
I massacred that.
An army of ants
gnawing at your privates. Now I wouldn't go that far with this.
There's
movie.
not very many things I would choose. You know, I wouldn't choose an army of ants gnawing at my privates over very many other things.
Yeah, I know. Well, you know that kind of happened to me one time.
Oh, gosh,
I was laying on I was laying in a field on my stomach.
I had honey
on
all
an
over
ant
me.
bed. No, I didn't realize the ant bed was there.
Why were you laying in a field on your stomach on an ant bed?
We were playing King of the Capture the Flag, so I was trying to hide.
Was it nighttime?
No, it was during the day.
Why were you naked?
I wasn't naked.
Oh, okay, why did the ants get all over you?
Well, there was a lot of them.
How many bites did you have?
There was a lot. Anyway, this movie, the whole lose a tooth thing, because that's what happens. You lose a tooth, and the Tooth Fairy comes to kill you.
Okay,
it
seems realistic.
It's a weird concept.
Yeah, why is the Tooth Fairy so upset?
Well, she was a lady that was accused of killing 2 kids. So they hung her. Yeah, so they hung her, and then later in the next morning, the kids turned up and they were fine. So
so she's like, I'm gonna do what you said I did.
Yeah, pretty much, I guess. But it's still out there. I remember this movie scaring me in 2003, and it did not do that.
That was a much different Chris.
It was.
Hey, it was a much different world. We were a lot
Yeah.
simpler back then, weren't we?
Yeah. It was just after 9/11.
Oh gosh.
So, well, I'm not making a joke. I mean,
where were you when the world stopped turning?
It's different, you know. But the thing about her, she can only get you if you're in complete darkness. So as long as you stay in the light,
Well, this seems like a very
that
simple
part
fix.
of the room could be dark and she'd be over there. And if you never went
This
over
seems
there,
like
you'd
an
be fine.
extremely simple fix.
It is.
Is this like an advertisement for Energizer?
I think it. Yeah.
Always have your flashlight
You'd
on
be
you?
amazed at how many times the lights go out in this town, like for no reason.
Very unstable
like at
power grid.
hospitals, things like that.
That's why they have regulations on light bulbs, dude.
Yeah. Really, as if it didn't seem like it did. The movie doesn't make any sense. The movie doesn't make any sense. But,
Wow, that's okay.
But I kind of like
That's
that.
a shock, and I'm kind of
I like movies
unsettled.
somewhat that don't make sense. But, you know, it's a good way to start off Halloween. It's not the best movie. The monster's pretty
This is your
cool.
favorite month.
It is my favorite month. Yep.
Darkness Falls. And how did you watch it?
I watched it on, it was Amazon Prime. No, what was it?
Uh-oh, here we go. You didn't even come prepared, bro.
Yes, it was
Listeners wanna
Amazon
watch
Prime.
this.
It was Amazon Prime.
Darkness Falls.
Darkness Falls. Do you do like a 30 days of Halloween type thing or anything, like where you watch a scary movie every day?
I mean, we try to when we're together.
Who's we?
Yeah, what are we talking about?
Me and my wife.
Oh, I was talking about a Tooth Fairy.
Oh,
Yeah.
here we go. Chris over there knocking teeth out. All right, Dick, what'd you watch?
I watched the 1990 action flick. It is called Lionheart.
Gosh, we're gonna be such a letdown to anybody who was looking for a good review today.
What Lionheart's available on Amazon Prime. It is a Sheldon Littich directed movie with Jean-Claude Van Damme, which they've done several movies together, if you didn't know that. The movie was made in 1990, and it was... I remember watching this movie in the theater with my family, and this is after Bloodsport, so Jean-Claude Van Damme...
They dip their knuckles in the different things?
No.
Okay.
No, Bloodsport. So this is after Bloodsport, and they both did... The director and him did this. They both wrote this together. There was an earlier screenplay by somebody else, but... Van Damme and this Sheldon guy did this movie together. Again, like I said, it's available on Amazon Prime. What I love about this movie is it introduced a lot of things I didn't know were going around in that world. So the movie opens up with Leon, and Leon's the main character. His brother is in New York. Or L.A., sorry, L.A. He gets burned alive.
Oh, bummer.
From a drug bust thing. And that was an interesting opening to a movie.
Is that the punishment for having drugs?
Well, no, the opening literally has this guy, they're meeting under a bridge, and he's like trying out the Coke, and it's like, this is sugar. And he has like a French accent. Oh, okay. And the guy's like, yeah, no, Sherlock. And he kicks him out, he's like, this is gasoline. And then they pour gasoline on him, set him on fire, and when he's in the hospital, he's like, Leon. Well, apparently that turns into his brother, who is currently in the French Legion in North Africa, and he's building something, shirtless in the desert. And I didn't know the French Legion. I didn't know anything really about that. I don't know if y'all know what the French Legionnaires are. Do y'all know what they are?
Not so much.
Basically,
Legionnaire's disease, I've heard.
Well, basically, it's a unit of France that you can anyone can volunteer. Like you have a calling to go serve somewhere, you could join them.
You have to be French?
No, you can be it's different nationalities. And so I did some research on that because what you find out through the movie, it's a prison sentence for him because he took his brother's fall for him so he could go to America with his wife who was pregnant at the time, which was weird to me. She wasn't French. So that was really strange to me.
Abroad.
So, yeah, I guess. But anyway, he makes his way. He escapes the French Legionnaire to go see his brother because he gets a letter saying he's in the hospital.
So you get to leave prison?
No, he escapes.
Oh.
So now we have them searching, the Legionnaires are searching for Van Damme in America. And then, of course, Van Damme, being a huge fighting magnet, he finds homeless people fighting under a bridge. So he goes, what's this? And he literally goes like, oh, he's on the phone. And he like looks over at the bridge and people are going, yeah. So he literally goes down there. And then he needed some money, and so who wants some money? Come fight. And then he fights, and then he makes friends, and it's a journey with him and his manager all the way.
Does he find his brother?
And no, his brother died.
Oh.
Does he find his brother's body?
No, it's gone. What's funny is
does he take his brother's wife?
No, what's funny is you think that would be the movie where he tried to find out who did this to his brother.
Yeah.
So there's the whole beginning of the first act is at the end of the first act, he talks to the doctor, and he's like, there's nothing we could have done. Sorry, your brother died. And he's like, Doc, answer me this. Did they catch the people that did this? And I'm like, oh, here comes, this is where the movie. Yeah, they did.
Oh.
They're in jail.
They're in jail.
And then it's like, okay. And you see sad Van Damme walk out
I guess I'll go fight some homeless people.
No, and the whole movie is just him trying to make money for the wife and kid. For his brother's wife and kid. And it's one of those.
Seems like a job would be a better way.
Well, I mean, that's what he falls into, and that's what his skill set requires, is him beating up people.
We just do what we can with what we have.
I would recommend this movie if you really like Jean-Claude Van Damme, because he actually has an acting role in this one. He speaks a lot more. And I was reading some articles with the director, because they did, I think, Double Impact together. That's another Jean-Claude Van Damme movie. And then they did The Order, The Last Patrol. I mean, they did like 5 movies together, and they directed together, and then, of course, Van Damme slipped off. But it was interesting because they were talking about when they wrote this movie, they wanted to give him more of acting chops. So he cries in a couple scenes. It's great. And then he gets angry in a couple scenes. And then, of course, he shows how macho man he is in a couple scenes. There is something really strange. If you've watched the movie and you want to get back to the ticket stub, I want to know there's a character in the movie who's this blonde lady who's married to Paul Feig. Her name is Deborah Renard. She plays Cynthia, who's this wealthy woman who like is obsessed with Leon. And she's just like, she's the one that sets up the high profile fights and stuff. But I always wonder what she did, because she was always traveling, working out, and just kind of showing up where Leon was and drinking. and she's supposed to be the villain of the movie, but not. I mean, I didn't really get it. So if you know what she does for a living besides put up fights, let me know, because I can't imagine you make that much money from fights. But yeah, so Lionheart's available on Amazon Prime. Totally check it out. I enjoyed it. Holly hated it. She goes, you got me for 20 minutes, and if I don't like it, and of course the first 20 minutes is a guy burning alive, Jean-Claude Van Damme setting up a camp in the desert, and then him shoveling coal on a ship. And it's like, all right, this movie doesn't really have anything going for it right now. So Amazon Prime it. Check it out. I love this movie.
Sounds great. Yeah.
I know you really cared. You were just looking at your...
Well, I was looking at Lionheart.
You know what people don't realize?
I was looking at Lionheart, and then I realized that Jean-Claude Van Damme was in a movie with Dennis Rodman called Double Team.
Yeah.
And
yes.
I'm about to talk about Dennis Rodman. So
yeah,
it was kind of a twisted web. What twisted webs we weave. I watched a movie which is strangely not showing up on IMDb in any way, shape, or form, no matter how hard I search. But it did exist, and it's called. It's part of the ESPN's 30 for 30 series, which are documentaries and not TV shows.
I think.
Yeah, well, you can watch it on your TV just like you could HBO.
Well, I found it. It was under IMDb 30 for 30 TV series.
It wasn't under there, though, because you can't even find it under that.
Yeah, director and everything's under that.
Yeah, okay. So. Well, you can't find it, so that's interesting that you said that. But anyways, it's 30 for 30 series.
You're never
feature length. It's feature length, which on episode 1, we talked about anything over an hour being considered feature length that we could talk about on the ticket stub. This was about an hour and 45 minutes long, I believe. Called Rodmen, For Better or Worse. What this is the story of Dennis Rodman. For anybody who somehow doesn't know who Dennis Rodman is, he might be most famous for being a outspoken, crazy character in the media, but he, before that, was a professional basketball player and won several championships, 2 with Detroit, and then I think 3 with Chicago Bulls with Michael Jordan, part of that era. And so, very interesting. It starts all the way back from when he was a little kid, as documentaries often do, and looked at his life. His dad was like basically a total deadbeat who wasn't there for anything. And what's funny about Rodman is for most of his life, even his early years in the NBA, he was a super quiet, shy, like just very like almost innocent, lovable seeming kind of guy. And then something.
Was it Madonna?
Yeah, well, that definitely didn't. That was a part of it. Was his relationship with Madonna, but it's almost like what they talk about in the documentary a lot was when he was on that Detroit Pistons team. Because basketball had always been like his family because his dad was so messed up and his real family, him and his mom were on good terms. There was some weird stuff where when he was in college as like a 21-year-old living in Oklahoma at this small college in Oklahoma, he did basketball camps in the summer with the college put him on for like the community or whatever. And this little kid came, this like 13-year-old kid. And Rodman was very slow to develop, like mentally and socially and all that kind of stuff. But he befriended this like 13-year-old little white kid, or 15-year-old or whatever it was. And so like 21 or 22-year-old, like 6'8" Dennis Rodman is hanging out with this like 5 foot tall 14-year-old white kid from Oklahoma, and like his parents kind of became Dennis's parents, and like they would have like sleepovers and stuff. It was a little bit weird.
So it was a Michael Jackson guy.
Yeah, but kind of not, because I mean that's what I was worried it was going to go.
Kind of not. Tell me where the kind of gets worked into. Well,
no one even hinted at an accusation for anything like that, but very strange. But anyways, basketball was kind of his family, and he was on this NBA Pistons team. And with all these really good players, and they were kind of like his family. And I guess he didn't realize that in the NBA, players move around all the time. And so after they won a championship, all these guys that were like his brothers all leave the team, and he's kind of the only one still there. And that's kind of when he starts his spiral. He starts acting out. He starts getting ejected from games. He starts kind of being crazy. Then he dates Madonna. He starts dyeing his hair. He becomes kind of this iconic.
Then he gets put on a team with Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
Oh, no. Tragic.
Yeah. Well, he wins he was very successful, but it's also sad because it looks at his own kids, and he's like not at all a part of any of their lives, just like his dad hadn't done for him. It was really a sad story of, I mean, we look at him.
Didn't he marry himself?
He wore a wedding dress. He announced he was going to get married, and then he wore a wedding dress and didn't really marry anybody. I mean, so it was a big.
Yeah, he married himself.
There you go. Okay, so, maybe not legally, but in his heart, he was married to himself. It talks about the Kim Jong-un stuff and how weird that kind of is, and how he wants his he'd rather his legacy be like as a diplomat rather than a basketball player. I mean, he's obviously got some serious mental issues. He cries a lot. It's very kind of heavy.
So
stuff.
there's interviews with him in it.
He's in it some.
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
yeah. He's in it some, and it's got a lot of other famous NBA players and family, and I mean, it's got all sorts of people. When they're interviewing him, I don't think that he fully understands some of the other interviews that are going to be happening. It didn't seem like he was, some of the stories he was telling weren't lining up one-to-one with some of the stories other people were telling, and other people's versions were probably less flattering to him maybe than his own. But it was very interesting. If you like basketball, especially if you like, like the 90s basketball, and I just remember, I was a kid, but I remember what an icon he was.
Oh, yeah.
know? And it was funny because at one point in the documentary, they talked about how he was more famous than Michael Jordan. At that time, they were on the team together, and Jordan was, by all accounts, the best player who will ever play the game. But Rodman was more famous than him. Like, he had more TV appearances. He had more. No, that's changed now. I mean, Rodman's fallen off, and Jordan still is, who he was. But it was just interesting to hear them say that they'd both walk into a room, and Rodman would be the one that more eyes would be on, not because of his basketball skill, but because of his kind of out there personality and shock value and everything like that. So it was really interesting. This 30 for 30 film series, they're always really well made, and they do a great job with that stuff. And so if you like that kind of stuff, it's available on ESPN. That's how I watched it. But anyways, good stuff for sure.
Yeah. No. That's a TV show. I was kidding you.
Yeah, it's a big time TV show, but it's a good one. TV Stub, check it out. Anyways, all right, let's do our either or here. We got a few minutes left. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to throw out two things. We did this, our very first episode of the show ever. We did either or. And then on episode 59, we did either or again, brought it back out of the old treasure chest. And we're going to bring it back now for episode 113 to do it again about every 50 episodes or so.
There you go.
We'll pull this bad boy out. So what's going to happen is I'm going to give two options, and then I want you to pick, but don't just pick. I mean, have a reason why,
Okay.
and we'll talk about it together. And they're all movie related. Some of them are kind of topical. Some of them are just random crap I pulled out of my backside here. But the first one, just along the vein of superheroes, if you heard tomorrow that there was going to be a new Batman or a new Superman movie, which one are you taking?
Batman.
How come? Why do y'all like Batman more?
He's more interesting.
Yeah, I agree.
Superman sucks.
I agree.
Yeah.
No, Superman doesn't suck.
No, he sucks.
But I would like to see a Superman movie, but I'm hankering for a good Batman again.
Yeah. See, but I don't know. For me, it's like Superman's been so... It's just so tough to make a good Superman movie. I guess maybe that's why Batman's the right answer, but it'd be so enjoyable for there to be one. I don't know. I know y'all like some of those ones that I don't like so much, like Superman Returns or whatever else. Like,
Yeah, I like that one.
Yeah. See, I don't like those movies really, but
I mean, he's indestructible. It's stupid.
yeah, it's just
Like I'm trying to figure out.
But Batman's not even a superhero though.
Yeah,
He's
but
just
that
human.
to me, it's more grounded. Like if I saw Superman punch somebody, I want that person to explode
Yeah.
because that makes sense to me.
Well, he can control his power, so he does like a 1%.
Well, when have you seen Superman punch a regular person? I don't recall I've ever seen that.
Yeah, the scene where on Superman Returns where he lands on the ceiling or on the roof and they have the Gatling gun, and they shoot him with the Gatling gun, and he basically walks forward and just throws people.
Whoa.
So yeah, he definitely
But
punched
he's not
them.
straight up.
No, he's taking them out. So if he throws somebody, I expect him to go through like 10 floors and then like be obliterated.
I was thinking give a little judo chop.
Well, because like, and that's one thing I always pissed me off about those movies is the collateral damage from Superman. It was never really part of. They kind of touched on the newer DC stuff, but like
that's
he's
what I like
literally tearing up a town where people are in the building just using the toilet, and
Millions of people
and they
died.
fall off.
Yeah,
I mean,
millions of people are dying.
yeah,
And
and
now-
it's just kind of like, and especially with him holding back his powers and stuff. Like I'd be okay with him literally knocking people apart. Like that would be to me like, oh, this guy's really
That'd be a great
dangerous.
slapstick comedy. He like would punch people and their like organs would just fly
Well,
out.
no, that's
Yeah,
what-
he's like
well,
he's a
'cause you
member of the Three Stooges.
Well, that's one of the, that's one of
Like,
Superman's that's one of Superman's problems in the way the world sees him, because he's such a every military person. Like he's still a threat. He's not human. He's Kryptonian or whatever. He's from Krypton. He's not human. He's an alien. So he's never going to choose us.
Yeah.
He's going to choose them.
For sure. All right, moving
So
on.
Batman. Batman all day.
Batman's all the way around. Okay, so this is a little bit of a strange question, but I think it makes sense. Would you rather watch a scary movie that was a Halloween-based scary movie or a scary movie that was just generic? So like they always come out with ones that are like about Halloween.
100% Halloween based. 100%.
I love Chris.
Yeah, you know it's really funny. I was always hoping they would make.
You're so serious.
Yeah,
I was always hoping they were gonna make a Halloween movie about like literally poisoning candy and all that kind of stuff. Like do all the taboo things people don't want to talk about during Halloween.
Razor blades.
And like make a movie on that, and that would just freak people out. Like you think the Joker's gonna make it tense in the theater? I mean, think about having that movie come out in September.
The way to
like,
really drum it up is make like China be the ones who put the stuff in our candy.
Oh, there you go.
Because we're probably buying it from them anyways, you know.
Well, there's very few good Halloween movies that are based on Halloween. Of course, the movie Halloween is the greatest, and then Trick or Treat, and then there's not a whole lot after that. Maybe Hocus Pocus.
Yeah, that's not really scary though.
No,
not really.
Isn't Leprechaun? One movie's
no,
based
it's
off
not on
Halloween.
That's St. Patrick's Day, I believe.
No, there's a Leprechaun movie where they make a mask and they're selling them for Halloween. And
Really?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's a Leprechaun movie.
I don't remember that.
All right, moving on.
No, that's Halloween 2. That's Halloween 2. I'm sorry, Halloween 3. It's Halloween 3.
Where they sell
Season
masks.
of the Witch.
They're selling masks and then like it transforms people and kills them.
Halloween 3.
All right,
Season of the Witch.
Next, would you rather watch a movie that was based deep underwater or a movie that was based deep in space?
Space.
That's a tough one. I'm going to go with underwater.
There's some cool underwater movies. I feel like it's kind of a way. If you're looking at percentage, space is 95% to 5% underwater, but there's some cool underwater movies. What about this? This is about your theater experience. Would you rather get like a Coke and a popcorn, or like a beer and just enjoy that way? I don't feel like beer and popcorn mix that well in my opinion.
So
But
just a beer?
Are you serious?
You like beer and popcorn?
Anything salted?
Okay. Would you rather have a soda or a beer? How about that for your movie?
A beer, obviously.
I would say it depends on the movie because I pee a lot. So if I'm watching like a really movie I've been looking forward to, I'm not drinking anything. I'm just watching the movie.
That is true.
Catheter up.
Because I'll be hitting that 30, 45 minute mark. I'm like, what?
I've got a drive-through catheter place you can use if you want.
Well, the way to do it is don't drink at all before the movie actually starts.
Oh,
that's
just
my
wait
trick.
until it starts. Chris, here's an idea. In those comfy seats, you need to install like a little bladder that guys can
let's
just
not do that. You know, some kid's gonna mess that one up, and then you got pee all over the neighbor.
All right. Yeah. How about this? Would you rather watch a summer blockbuster or an Oscar bait type movie?
Blockbuster. I hate Oscar bait movies.
Probably a blockbuster.
Yeah, they're usually pretty good. How about, would you rather watch, if you heard that Netflix or Amazon was coming out with a new movie, which one you don't know anything else about it besides that, what would you be more excited about?
Amazon.
Netflix.
Okay, interesting. Okay, how about this? Would you rather watch a movie? This is kind of our conversation from earlier. Would you rather a movie that was centered around, like the central core value was that it was an all-female cast or an all-ethnic cast? So like, like Crazy Rich Asians was like all Asians, or there's plenty of movies where it's like all black people or whatever else. Would you rather do like all female or all ethnic?
Well, I think it depends on what it is.
Okay.
I don't know if you can really answer that question.
Moving on.
I don't
know if you can.
I don't really care.
Really. I mean, yeah, exactly. I mean,
I don't.
It depends on what the movie is.
Well,
I mean, like 2001 Space Odyssey had a bunch more monkeys than humans, so it's like, yeah, let's do that movie. That
doesn't apply to this in any way.
Well, if we're choosing
Planet
like
of the Apes had way more apes, man.
Yeah,
So,
I dig it.
Okay. Last one. Would you rather watch a sequel to something you really liked or a reboot of something you really liked?
Sequel.
Sequel. Yeah, I feel like reboots kind of.
Like, I would like to see a Gremlins 3 instead of a Gremlins reboot. Well, I mean, I would.
All right.
Yeah, Passion of the Christ reboot would be cool.
Yeah. Or sequel would be
Yeah.
interesting. Yeah. All right. Well, that's all I got. We're gonna wind this bad boy up. That was a thanks. That was a good show, guys. Anyways, everybody who listened, we appreciate it. I hope you tell a friend, share it on Facebook. That helps us. Every time somebody that's not Chris Dick or I shares it on Facebook, our like views are significantly better because we're reaching a different audience. Our people see it all the time, anyways.
Well, win tickets too.
Yeah, we got tickets.
Direct message us on our social media. And you'll be entered in, and we give them away once a week after every show.
We'll be back next week. We'll have more fun and frivolity, so stick with us.
That's tickets to the Grand and Amstar, by the way. I don't know if people connected that.
Yeah, connect the dots.
They have a Tiki Shack, guys.
Ooh, tickets to the Tiki?
Is it Tiki Shack or is it
the Dak Shack?
Dak Shack. Man, that place is baller, dude.
All right, for Chris.
We didn't say that. Would you rather have popcorn in a shack, a Dak Shack? I'd be totally down for that.
Yeah, popcorn in the Dak.
Yeah.
You have like 40-ounce Dak Shacks?
We got 24.
Big 24. Gulps. Big gulps, huh?
I remember we got one of those.
A Tiki Totem Tumbler is what it is.
That's a ridiculous name. If I bring my own cup, will you fill it? Okay.
No, that's against the law.
What happens if I go get a cup from the bigger cup from the soda
I'm sorry.
fountain?
No. Anyway, it's a whole confusing mess.
So maybe bring your own cups.
No.
Bring your own
no.
cups.
You can't do
for
that.
Dick, for Chris, my name's Connor. Signing off on the Ticket Stub.
This is not a drill.